Jananing Sharadam Devim Ramakrishnam Jagadguru Padupadme Tayo Sritva Pranamami Muhurmuhu. I salute Mother Sarada and the Sri Ramakrishna, the world teacher, craving their blessings. Again and again we salute him and salute them. Om peace, peace, peace be unto us all. So today is an auspicious day that I am not to make it audible. And today is an auspicious day because one of the Sri Ramakrishna's sannyasi, monk, devotee, Swami Ramakrishnananda, was birthday, holy birthday. Sri Ramakrishna came to spread the message of harmony and peace to the whole world. And he created a band of young people who will be helping in the mission of promoting the spiritual harmony, spiritual truth to the whole world. They are full of renunciation. Renunciation means dedication, being freed from all worldly connection. They dedicated their life for God realization. And God realization is the goal of life. That was the key point of Sri Ramakrishna's teachings. Just now, some of you who have for the first time heard what Sri Ramakrishna talks about. In his few minutes conversation, you see that he is only God realization, the goal of life. The life is full of suffering and pain. Only what can be holy company. Where is holiness? Holy company means is not available in the market. Everything is available by price, paying some money. But holy people, you cannot get it. Holiness is something which comes of tremendous dedication and sacrifice for God, and ignoring the things of the immediate attention, attachment, where we feel instant gratification, turning mind from that direction to that Lord God. You see, all the Christian mystics, all the Hindu saints, all the Buddhist monks, see, it is based on renunciation, tyaga, tyaga, tyaga. And the whole message of the Bhagavad Gita is, but said by Bhagavan Krishna, it is tyaga. Ramakrishna said, what is the essence of the teachings of the Gita? Is 10 times you say Gita. How it becomes? Gita, 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 it becomes Tagi. Tagi and Tyagi are, according to Sanskrit grammar, they are all the same, meaning the same. Tyaga. The crowning glory of Ramakrishna is the Tyaga. He taught us how to renounce petty thing for attainment of the highest joy which is in God. So he attained his all success. He attained God in all the possible ways human civilization have practiced from beginning till today. And at the end he experienced the same divine reality, which is called Brahman. And he then wanted to give that to the whole world. And used to cry on going to the top of the music tower in Dakshineshwar where he was there, and say, oh ye come, as Christ said, oh ye come who are heavily laden. No? Here also see Ramakrishna said, come, oh my boys, I cannot bear without your presence. No? I am tired of talking with the worldly people who are talking about money and business and all these things all day and night. And I am tired of them. So you come, some pure soul, the soul who will be able to hold the message. That needs some purity of the heart. So, Vivekananda came, Brahmananda, all the small photographs on the wall, 16 disciples, 16 young boys came one after another. And Ramakrishna used to say, come, when there is nobody, so that he can train them, and they are pure soul, they can catch the message. Suppose if you go, I live in Hollywood, so if I go and preach the message of Vedanta, yes, love God in the Hollywood Boulevard, who will listen? There's a crazy guy. If the message is good message, love God, life is full of suffering, why this fun, why this, and spending the day and night with these things, which will not go with you, you will have to die alone. All this message if I want to give, they will put me into the, maybe in the psychiatric hospital. So, but that's why you need some real seeker of truth who can absorb, who are searching for that, who have got enough experience of life, that life is not all shining bright. Life has so much suffering, so much pain. Life gives us something to know. Anything we acquire in the world is mundane. It is little, no? So he was searching for these young boys, and one by one these boys gathered around Ramakrishna. And today is the birthday of Swami Ramakrishnananda. His other name was Shoshi Bhushan. So he came, so this very first experience with him, Shoshi was a very, very bright student. He was good in philosophy, in mathematics and other things. And he was searching for some truth. His father was a great tantric sadhaka. He's a very famous person. And he was trying to raise his son in such a way, he will be naturally inherit all the property and everything. Every father wants that their son will be bright and get established in life and then get married. And then what? Then have some children and then die one day. This normal life you need, if you look at the normal lifestyle, all the whole world is running for. We study. Hey, good result. You know you should do that. Hey, you should go for games. You should go that. And for what? Good grade, good school, good college. Okay, then what? Then you get a PhD. Then you get some engineering. Oh, you got IT specialist, AI specialist, and this and that and do. And then what? Now you have a marry, and then go and have some. It is not bad. Children, and then what? And with the burden of life, go on, never think why I am here, why I am born, why I shall study, why I shall earn money, why I shall get married, why I shall have children. Goal is to forget the goal. The goal is peace, absolute peace. Goal, all are searching for absolute joy. It's not bad, but lead the life meaningfully. You can get married, but have a devoted life, lead a devoted life. Just now we read in the gospel, no? What is the way we live in the household life? Is there any way out? No. Household life is not bad, but to be totally ingrained into it and forgetting the goal of life, that is the problem. So Sri Ramakrishna came to push that idea, but his father was very much against it. Naturally. When it happens even now. The mom and dad, they are all devotees of Ramakrishna Mission. They got mantra and everything. But when the question comes, his son wants to be a monk or his daughter wants to be a nun, then mom and dad all start crying and weeping. I don't say it is bad, but it is naturally, it is love there. But the goal of life, they are trying to find out in a way where this life will be dedicated for God 24 hours. And entire life dedicated for the cause of God realization, and service to others. That is the principle. And that was Sri Ramakrishna came in this age to give that. And he said, household life is good, but there will be some people who will be trying to get out of this classes of this and will be 24 hours dedicated to God. Because you are all in your household responsibilities so much, it takes away the mind. It's forcefully it takes away. You have no way to exercise your own way, that the demands of life takes us away. So similarly, this life should be dedicated to God, whether in the household life or in the monastic life. But monastic life will be an example for the society also, because that dedication, that sacrifice, people will love, and then they will intimately follow that path, being in the world and get peace. That's why he said sadhu sangha. Sadhu means holy. Holy People's Association. We just read. Holy People Association. It improves our yearning for God. It increases our desire to find the truth in life, permanent purpose, permanent goal of life. What is the absolute goal? What is the ultimate goal of life? That can be decided. So it is Sri Ramakrishna, how he came into life, that I will read. Sosi and his young friend first heard about Sri Ramakrishna from Keshav. Keshav was a great reform movement leader, reform leader of that time, who spoke highly about the saint of Dakshineshwar. And Sosi later recalled, it was really Keshav Chandra Sen who may be said to have discovered Sri Ramakrishna and made him known to the world. At the time, Keshav was the most prominent figure in Calcutta. His church was always crowded, and many young men were his ardent admirers. It is said by Swami Ramakrishnananda, whose birthday is today. It was indeed impossible not to be moved by him. When he stood in his church, dressed in his white robe, and talked with God, the tears streaming down his face, there was not a dry eye in the whole congregation. He was really a great soul and a true devotee. Hunger for God made young Sosi, this boy, who became Ramakrishnananda, hunger for God, that's the word is very, very beautiful. We are hungry to fill our stomach, no? But hunger for God, you are restless for God. That was the characteristic of Sosi. Keshav inspired him immensely, but could not fully satiate his spiritual hunger. One day, in October 1883, Sosi, Sharat, their cousin, and some of their friends went to Dakshineshwar to visit Ramakrishna. They found the master seated on a small couch. He received the boys with a smile and asked them to sit on the mat on the floor. He then asked them their names. At first sight, Sri Ramakrishna recognized Sosi, this boy, and Sarat as his own. Sensing their spirit of renunciation, the master says, bricks and tiles, if burned with a trademark on them, retain those marks forever. Similarly, you should enter the world after advancing a little in the path of spirituality. Then you will not sink in the mire of worldliness. But nowadays, parents get their boys married while quite young, and thus paved the way to their ultimate ruin. Then someone is saying they become naturally, then someone says that, then sir, is it wrong to marry? Someone is asking that question. Is it against the Lord's will? Asked one of these boys. The master asked him to take a certain book down from the shelf and directed him to read a particular passage that quoted Christ's opinion of marriage. Quote, for there are some eunuchs who were so born from their mother's womb. There are some eunuchs which were made eunuchs of men, and there be eunuchs which have made themselves eunuchs for the kingdom of heaven's sake. He that is able to receive it, let him receive. The master then asked him to read Saint Paul. Saint Paul says, I say therefore to the unmarried and the widows, it is good for them if they abide even as I. But if they cannot contain, let them marry, for it is better to marry than to burn. So he's giving inspiration. See how he's bringing the books of Christian religion. No, Ramakrishna, being unlettered person, he knows what is Bible there, what Saint Paul says. No, he's collecting that thing and asking that this. There are two ways in ancient India also. One is the path of samsara, another is the path of renunciation. Both are very scientific. Married life, student life, married life, retired life, and dedicated, totally dedicated life. This is the pattern of Indian spiritual tradition for thousands of years. That means you get a good experience. What is this school study, education you get, then you have enter into the family life, enjoy whatever experience the life can give, and then afterwards mature in your experience that this cannot satisfy you permanently. It can bring momentary satisfaction or joy, but I want permanent joy. That's why you take the third step. In the retired life, you think of God, think of the ultimate goal, and then when maturity comes, when you think that I will renounce everything and dedicate it to God. That's all the saints have achieved that goal by this process. So Sri Ramakrishna is inspiring these boys to follow the path because he wants these followers who will be preaching this message to the world. Then Ramakrishna asked Shashi whether he believed in God with form or without form. Shashi replied frankly, I am not certain about the very existence of God, so I am not able to speak one way or the other. No? Many people say, how do you think of God? Do you think of God in the formless aspect or in the form? Form is this Ramakrishna, Holy Mother, this Shiva, Kali, these are form. Formless, like God is like infinite sky, God is like infinite ocean. No? What is your idea? Then he said, I do not know God, honestly he said, so I cannot say which is good or bad for me. After the first meeting, this simple and direct reply pleased Sri Ramakrishna very much. When these boys took leave, then Master said to Shashi, please come again. Sri Ramakrishna always tested the genuineness of his disciples, using various methods before accepting them into the inner circle. Long after Ramakrishna's passing away, Shashi told the following incident to Sri Swami Premananda, who related this to his American disciple later on. When Swami Ramakrishnananda first came to Sri Ramakrishna, he wanted to touch Ramakrishna's feet that he might take dust of them. For in India, in relation to the holy, this is considered the greatest blessing. But Sri Ramakrishna withdrew his feet. Swami Ramakrishnananda thought that it was because he was unworthy. Afterwards, Sri Ramakrishna told him that it was only to increase his yearning. A small soul full of pride and ego will be felt injured, but a big soul is only filled with great longingness. So he tested that whether he needs only appreciation. So she became acquainted with the friend Naren and other people. Naren one day told Soshi and Sarot, he is bestowing love, devotion, divine knowledge, liberation, and whatever else one may desire. On whomsoever he likes, oh, what a wonderful power, he can do anything he likes. He's talking about Ramakrishna. Swami Vivekananda telling about Ramakrishna and his glory. He said, he, means Ramakrishna, is bestowing love, devotion, divine knowledge and liberation, and whatever else one may desire. On whosoever he likes, he can give that. Ramakrishna is such a spiritual personality. He could look at someone and instantly give liberation. He can touch someone and get him in the realm of ecstasy and experience. So he says Ramakrishna has that is not ordinary man, he is God himself. Observing that their other disciples are experiencing ecstasy and devotion, one day Shoshi went to Ramakrishna and prayed for those spiritual experiences. The master said, if you have that experience, you won't be able to serve me. That means if you get the experience, you'll be absorbed in samadhi. So I'm not giving it now. Then I don't need it, replied Shoshi. I don't care for that ecstasy which will take away my opportunity to serve you. So that was the special spirit of Shoshi, that he used to serve Ramakrishna. When Sri Ramakrishna got cancer, and then he came to Kashipur Garden House, these young boys, 24 hours they on rotation, they are serving Sri Ramakrishna. And they have tremendous spiritual experiences by serving Sri Ramakrishna. It is every day, they by their service only, Sri Ramakrishna giving them the experiences of a samadhi, sometimes deep samadhi, sometimes absorption in God. So, but everyone is getting ecstasy. Swami Vivekananda getting into samadhi and lost his whole consciousness, and he is saying, where is my body, where is my hand? And Ramakrishna said, okay, that rascal was bothering me for so many days to give that experience. Okay, now let him have it. That means he is lying in the bed, as in a deathbed as it were, in the second floor. And these boys are meditating in the ground floor. And then, by his grace, he got the ecstasy of Nirvikalpa Samadhi. And when he is in Nirvikalpa Samadhi, Vivekananda Naren is asking, where is my hand? Where is my feet? I don't see myself. Body, I couldn't find out his own body. Then his body give the symptoms like a dead body, because all breath stops, in that moment of ecstasy. It's kumbhak, it becomes kumbhak. Then somebody reported to going up in Ramakrishna's presence and said that, okay, let that boy now remain in that ecstatic state. He was bothering me for a long time. So he can give Nirvikalpa Samadhi, not seeing. From a distance he can do that. So he is saying that, so she also thought that, everyone is getting ecstasy, I am only serving Ramakrishna. So let me have some experience also. Then Ramakrishna said, if your path is different, if you get ecstasy, then you will not be able to work in the world. No? Your mind totally gets absorbed there, you cannot function in the world. So, better, he said, okay, I don't want that because I want to serve you. And so she actually served Sri Ramakrishna all through the life. And even when Ramakrishna passed away, all the direct disciples, 16 of them, headed by Swami Vivekananda, Naren, they started walking for pilgrimage, going for in the forest to lead a meditative life, secluded life, like a wandering monk here and there. But Shoshi never left. After passing away of Ramakrishna, his relics were brought, and Ramakrishna used to worship the relics in the same way while Ramakrishna was alive. And he actually hold on every day, all the system of our worship, it came from Shoshi Maharaj. He used to serve, even the Belur Math, regular, all the worship and the formula, they follow what Shoshi Maharaj used to follow. And Shoshi Maharaj used to follow while Ramakrishna was alive. When he was alive, how he used to serve from morning till night. So that is the way Belur Math serves Thakur, even today. And all the worship thing was Shoshi Maharaj's introduction into the monastery. After Ramakrishna passing away, these young boys have no money, They are not earning people. They are school going or college going boys, so they have no money in their pocket. But one day Ramakrishna came in the vision of Narendra, the leader of the group, Vivekananda, and said, I have, when Sri Ramakrishna was ill, all these boys gathered together and they rotate their duties 24 hours. He will be 2 people, will be in morning, 2 hours, he will be 4 hours, like that. So all were gathered together. As Ramakrishna passed away, these boys have no place to stay. All the 16 boys together, so they went back to their home. And as a result, the group which was gathered around Ramakrishna, the spiritual band of people, so they all disoriented. And then one day Ramakrishna came in the mystic, in the dream, and said to Naren, call these boys. You are the most intelligent boy, you call them and gather them and start one place where to take the name of God and lead your life. Don't go away. And then, but where is the money? Then also, then one of his lay devotee, very good devotee, Suren then, he used to give 100 rupees in those days for Ramakrishna's expenses per month. The 100 rupees is much for those days. So he used to give, and then Ramakrishna went to him and he saw the dream that Ramakrishna was telling, hey Suren, you used to pay for my expenses. Why not pay some money for these boys and make a place where you devotees will come and these boys will be there, talk about God and make you spiritual life. This is also the same style. Make a place, this center. What is the purpose of the center? Talk about God, sing songs, bhajans, divine ecstasy. If not, at least mind should be purified to come to listen to God. So they make a place. That is the same principle. These are our centers, and now wherever we are having one center, the devotees and the monks, they are, see, some monk is in, some Shananda Maharaj inspired this place, no? To have a place.
Yes.
And that is the fundamental point. And then who will come? Devotees will come. What the devotees and the monk will do? See, as we have been talking about God, talking about purity, talking about spiritual ecstasy, no? So to make a place, that Baranagar monastery was started that way. It was, but they have no money, very little money. 16 boys to maintain their day-to-day expense and to pay the rent. So they found one dilapidated house, haunted house, because that is the cheapest. No one is going to rent that house. So they rented a house at Baranagar, which is a haunted house, and these boys don't care. The ghosts will be there, and they used to say we are living ghosts. So what they used to do, they used to go, and what is their work? They don't care for anything, but what to eat. Some little rice, and that day, every day they could not get a full meal, no full meal, nothing. But the Shoshi Maharaj was holding the fort in that Baranagar monastery, and whatever he gets, he will offer it to Ramakrishna, cook it for him, from morning onward, serve the Ramakrishna as he was living period, and then offer fruits and foods and whatever. But it is so poor, they have no cloth. One set of cloth was kept for hanging. If anyone wants to visit them, visitors come, all have one set of cloth. They will wear that and go and meet that devotee and then come back. And then again another person. They will be using in the kopina. They have no money to have clothing. And they used to, there is a, in the backyard, the Shoshi Maharaj used to, there is a garden house in the backyard, another person's backyard. But he find nothing to offer to Thakur, only rice. So he went in the garden, and that some one type of sabji, vegetables which grow on the side of the pond, Even the other rich people will not eat. But he will just pull some of the jungle like that and then cut it and then boil it and just put in the plate of Thakur. So the gardener used to chase him, right? And he used to run, collecting something, run, as if he is stealing the property of the garden. The gardeners were gardeners, but see the condition. Shashi Maharaj used to beg like that, go to steal even, you can say stealing. This you worthless board or something like that, one piece, to just cut and prepare the meal and give it to Ramakrishna. So that is the way. And all other brother monks, one by one, they went for Bodh Gaya, they went for South India, trip to Himalayas, to meditation. But he, Shashi Maharaj, he constantly stayed in the center. And every day he served Sri Ramakrishna. Then it was an example. Swami Vivekananda didn't like too much rituals. He likes Vedanta, no? He said that all the temples are doing rituals all the time. In India, any temple you go, it is only the ritual. Ghanta and bell, ringing the bell, waving the light, and that's all. But the core of religion is to love God, to meditate on God, to feel identity with God. That sometimes misses. And then we do the ritual and come away. So he, Swamiji used to say, I wish to throw away all the ringing bells and everything in the Ganga. So he is creating a place, again a place of only ritualistic worship, no? But anyhow, but Swamiji appreciated him because he hold on this ashram. And then Amy used to come, and he used to come and see silently. He was a good supporter of the monastery, as many of you are supporter of this center. Otherwise, how the center runs. So the Baranagar monastery started with that, and he used to come silently see if they are in the stock where they keep the rice, is there all ended or something is still there. And then he comes next time, brings some of the items. And these boys, they don't care what food is there or not. And Shashi only will be, because you will have to offer something to Ramakrishna. And then someday it is nothing, so he should prepare a little rice and some sabji, something, and make a round ball like that. And these people are on meditating, they have no time, hunger and everything, as if they have forgotten their hunger. But he, Shashi, used to make round ball like one golla, like round ball of rice, and push into the mouth of everyone. And that was their meal. So they have a very austere life. Swami Vivekananda said that we were doing such austerity, even the ghosts will run away from that place to seeing that austerity. So Shashi Maharaj hold the fort forever, and then Baranagar monastery, then moved into Alam Bazar, very, very close, because that house no more. The scorpion, snake, and he is living with, all these boys are living in that situation. But then moved to the Alam Bazar Mott, and then Alam Bazar Mott to Nilambar Babu's garden house, like that, 2-3 places. And ultimately, Swami Vivekananda came here and make a sensation, then went back, and then they asked him to purchase a little plot of land on the opposite side of the Ganga, and now the Belur Mott is the headquarters, came that way. But Shashi Maharaj constantly remained in that way. An orthodox Brahmin doing the puja and maintaining the center. That's why our center runs, this is the centering this shrine room. Minus this shrine room, it is a social work center maybe. That's not the point of this center. This is the Ramakrishna Holy Mother Vivekananda, they are the center focus of our whole organization. And then centering around their teachings and their life, to lead that life and to inspire others to lead the life at the center. So Belur Mott was established that way. And Swami Shashi Maharaj, when Swami Vivekananda went back from here, he asked that Shashi to send him to the southern part of India, South India. But South India there is no known. Swami Vivekananda has few followers there, because many are inspired by Swami Vivekananda, and Vivekananda was actually recognized by South India. Thank the South Indian people.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Because they only recognize the glory of Swami Vivekananda. And they, door to door, they went for begging some money for Swami Vivekananda's, collecting for Swami Vivekananda to send him into the West, coming to this country. So it was the great contribution of South India. Then actually South India invented Vivekananda, thanks to you, all of you. And then they send it to the West. And then Swami Vivekananda went back after the Chicago Parliament of Religions, World Religion, and speaking all the parts of the New York and Boston area, and it was so much creating such a sensation. He went back to India, and then his idea how to spread the message of in Ramakrishna and Vivekananda, this message of harmony, this message of peace, this message of oneness, no? Vedantic oneness, diversity, seeing the oneness in diversity, that philosophy to spread. He sends Soshi Maharaj, that Soshi, you please go and serve the southern India, go. There are some devotees, go on. And he came in one word. Their love for Swami Vivekananda was such deep, because Ramakrishna said, in my absence, Naren will be the leader. So they obeyed their leader, Swami Vivekananda, and they have deep relationship. No, relationship become much deeper when you are connected spiritually. They used to meditate together. They used to get intoxicated in God consciousness. They used to sing and dance in the name of God. No, so all this in Baranagar monastery days or some other places. So he went to the southern part of India, and it's Chennai. And the present Mott, you know, but Chennai Mott. How many of you have visited here? Hey, see? At least 4. So, Chennai Mott, but that time what was Chennai Mott? It's a very poor state. Again, the founders are always have to suffer so much. We are enjoying the bliss of their austerities. We are getting good food, we are getting good arrangement to sleep, no? But they have no room to do anything, no? They have no food, they have nothing, but they have to beg. So, Sri Ramakrishna, he started worshipping same way in going to Madras, Chennai, now Chennai. And he established Sri Ramakrishna's altar and put some relics there, and then started puja and worship. And south is more of worship and puja, no? Ceremonials. And he was Brahmin, Orthodox Brahmin, so he will suit and match with the South Indian sentiment. Otherwise, Bengalis, if they go with the Bengali other things, it will be a conflict there. So Swami Vivekananda chose the right person to send him and there he started worshipping, and the devotees started coming to the center. He's talking about Ramakrishna, talking about the spiritual entity. His talks are very powerful talks. But he has to do so much austerity that someday the same thing, like Baranagar days, there is nothing to eat. So one day, Sri Ramakrishna, Thakur's offering is to be given at a particular time, no? So the time is passing away, but nothing to offer to Sri Ramakrishna that day. Or for him to eat as a prasad later on, but to offer to Ramakrishna, there is nothing available. So he became very furious, and he stood in front of Ramakrishna and said, if you don't want any food today, so I will bring sand from this beach and collect them and offer it to you, and I will chew it. And actually he made that. But that time, by miraculously, someone came with so much food and items, and then he offered it to you. See, and he had to pass very tough time there. Now, people know Vedantic ideas little bit or little promotion, but that time that was not. Vivekananda was an extraordinary personality. Wherever he go, people will be flocking around that. That is very spontaneous. The wisest people in his oratory, his personality, his knowledge, his wisdom, unparalleled, no? But Soshi Maharaj went very timid, like a priest doing some puja and hiding his greatness in that way. So he used to go to give class. And he went to give a class, and in the hot summer of Madras, how difficult is that to go from one place to another. So he went there, and after walking so much distance, or by car, I do not know, there is no car. Maybe in those days there may be some or tanga. Bicycle.
No, that's
He
a
could not.
Like rickshaw.
Anyhow, something that horse-driven or carriage or something like that maybe.
Horse carrier.
Horse carriage. And then he went there and entered into the lecture hall. And lecture hall, they had to start the reading at a particular time. So we went there. Not a single man appeared to listen to his talk. But he opened the book in perfect time and read the Bhagavad Gita or something and explained in the empty hall. And then at the time when it's time, end of the lecture time, they closed it and then came back. So one Swami one time came from Belur Math, was with him, and he asked Swami Soshi Maharaj, Ramakrishnananda, Maharaj, what is this? In the hall there is nobody. First of all, you went there with so much hardship. We were sweating, and he was a very little heavy guy. So he's sweating and you're perspiring, and then you come here and there is no one, and you open the book, read the Gita for whom? He said, do I read for anyone? I read it to Ramakrishna. He feels the living presence of Sri Ramakrishna. This is the one thing. We are also learning like that, no? When I used to be speaking in India, there are 300, 400, 500 people, nothing, 1,000. They were always there, so many people, no? When I came here, only 20 people, 30 people. Sunday lecture, maybe 80 people. I said, my God, what is this? Mind was not happy. And now, after in the COVID time, all shut down. So we started giving lecture empty hall, online, but no one sitting in the front. It's very painful. How can you speak if you don't see anyone's face? Actually, and that was our habit, to see the eyes and their expression, then you can talk. But here, no one, so I can understand how, but unless you have a spiritual attitude that for whom you are doing. Now it is, at least there is a hope that it is streaming. Someone is watching somewhere. But that time there is no streaming. So he is in the empty hall, he is speaking only, and all his own effort is going on, but he wants to sit there, apparently. But see, that is the idea, is to feel the presence of Ramakrishna. Ramakrishna was not a picture for them. And Ramakrishna is a living entity. He used to do in Madras, after noon time when you offer the food, then as is the style, all the temples, noon time, after that the Lord gets to rest. So Ramakrishnananda, the name was given by Swami Vivekananda. He wanted to take for himself Ramakrishnananda, but seeing the devotion of Soshi for Sri Ramakrishna, he gave the name to him, Ramakrishnananda, Soshi. Then Soshi, what he will do? He immediately after offering the food to Sri Ramakrishna and then closing the shrine, then he will come and fan him whole time till the temple opens, thinking he is sweating in this hot summer. So he used to fan. Sometimes there is a leak in the roof. In the rainy season, water is leaking. He is holding the umbrella whole night, being himself sleepless. And his hand fan, in those days there was nothing other than any electrical thing didn't go there. And he's fanning, and he's sweating himself profusely, because he was a heavy guy in the hot summer, but Thakur is fanning there. People will say, what is this? You're fanning that picture, the glass, the photo. But for him it was a living, Sri Ramakrishna was a living entity for them. And that influenced the whole of South India is indebted. They thought Swami Ramakrishnananda has created such an indelible mark in the mind of the South Indian people. Yesterday was, no? Today.
Today is a birthday.
Today's birthday is celebrated in a very pompous way in all over in our center in Madras, particularly South Indian centers. So Sushi Maharaj was a great contribution in preaching. We can talk big things, but your life should be so. That is the point. Life of renunciation, life of dedication, life of service to others, life of service and removing this suffering of others. That is the goal of life. Where Sri Ramakrishna came and he actually dedicated his life, and all are following the same way, especially the direct disciples. It is a big life. I have no time to go through it. So much to where to put and where not to put. These days, as I said in the evening in the Varanagar monastery, they used to sing evening. He would conduct the Vesper service, waving a light, fanning the master, and singing with the disciples the Vesper song of Vishwanath Varanasi. Jaya Shiva Omkara, Bhaja Shiva Omkara, Brahma Vishnu, Sadasiva, Hara 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 Mahadeva. Swami Virajananda, a monastic disciple, later recalled, oh, how wonderful was the evening Vesper of Sushi Maharaj. It was really a sight for the gods to see. Enveloped with the smoke of burning incense, drowned in the music of drum and cymbals, he used to wave a chamar, a fan made of yaks, that is the chamar. And intoxicated with God consciousness, he would repeat, Jai Guru Deva, victory to the Guru, in a crescendo of divine abandon, and would dance from one side of the hall to the other side rhythmically, pacing the floor. What a unique feeling of ecstatic love would course through the hearts of men. Witnessing it can be better imagined than described. The whole building would be in a tremor with a heavenly glow on his face. He, Sushi Maharaj, looked the very embodiment of God, of fire as it were. The hand of the drummer would get benumbed and would refuse to move. The spectators would watch from adjoining room and join him, all repeating the chorus, Jai Guru Deva, Jai Guru Deva. The two would dance in rapture and fervor. They all would prostrate themselves before the deity and recite in chorus these verses from this Guru Gita. I bow down to the adorable Guru, who by the collyrium of the knowledge opened my eyes, blinded by the disease of ignorance. After the last part of hymn composed by Swami Abhedananda would be sung, let our salutation be to Ramakrishna, the endless, eternal, universal form, God incarnate, out of mercy of his devotees, and adorable Lord of all. Finally, the evening service would end with the word Jai Sri Guru Maharaj Ji Ki Jai. So we are also singing the same. But what is Sri? What? It is not waving the light as I am doing. But when it waves, he gets the spiritual fervor. He says he's dancing, singing, dancing, and creating a great spiritual inspiration, as Ramakrishna used to do always, no? In Dakshineshwar days, when he's singing and dancing, he's just raising his consciousness in a divine level. And that everyone's mind will be raised like that. That is the special power of the great incarnations and their disciples. So it is Vijnanananda, he is one of the other brother disciples. Swami Shahananda Maharaj's guru. This Vijnanananda, whose reminiscence he read, he is talking about Shashi Maharaj's puja, worship. How it is so inspiring, how it is so uplifting. Just we read that part. It is the description of the witness, eyewitness, Swami Vijnanananda, that he will create a spiritual fervor there and everyone's heart will be swimming in joy and bliss. So that is the worship. Worship does not mean simply throwing the flowers and chanting the mantras. What is worship? To see Shashi Maharaj, because he was tuned to that. One day, 4 monks went out for alms, but unfortunately received nothing. The monastery store was also empty. Ramakrishnananda was anxious and disturbed, thinking that master would have to be starved that day, as there was nothing to offer to him. Giving up the desire for food, the brother disciples became absorbed in devotion and singing. Giving up the desire for food, the brother disciples, all other brother disciples, became absorbed in devotion and singing. Ramakrishnananda then secretly went to the house of a friend, neighbor, and said to him, "Brother, dear, today nothing has been obtained from begging. Could you give me a few handful of rice, some potatoes, and a little ghee, clarified butter?" So 4 brothers went for begging. Baranagar monastery, they used to go for begging. We also go for begging once upon a lifetime. Those who go for Himalayas, our sadhus, they beg also. It's just by choice. And when we get the sannyas, the vows, that day 3 days everyone will have to beg. To go to unknown place and just stand before any house and say, Narayan Hari, and they will give you something. And you don't take much from any house, it will be burden on them. So a handful of some cooked food. We go to 1 house, 2 house, 5 houses we go. You get anything, that's okay. If you don't get anything, that's also okay. If you get anything, eat that. If you don't get, that's also okay. That is the vows of sannyas. So these 4 sadhus, they went on begging food but didn't get anything. Then Shashi was thinking, what to do now? At least Thakur should not starve. We can starve one day. So he went to the neighboring house and begged them. Today we didn't get any food, anything to offer to God. Can you give me a handful of rice? 1 handful, 1 potato. Every home can give little bhiksha like that. And then little clarified. That means that is the offering, he will give it to Thakur. Although the other members of his family were not sympathetic to the young monks, they don't like these 16 boys, young boys, giving up their education and then day and night singing and dancing in God's name and meditating in a dilapidated house like that. So they don't like these boys. But he gave Ramakrishnananda half a pound of rice, some potatoes and a little ghee. The Swami gladly cooked that food and offered it to the master. He then mixed it together and made some balls, as I was still telling you, which he carried to the hall and put one in the mouth of each monk. That small amount of sanctified food appeased their hunger, and they were touched by Ramakrishnananda's love and loving concern. With delight, they asked, "Brother Shashi, where did you get such delicious food?" Many years later, Swami Vivekananda recalled. Vivekananda said, "Oh, what a steadfastness to the ideal did we ever find in Shashi. He was a mother to us. He was he who managed our food. We used to get up at the 3 o'clock in the early morning. Then all of us, some after bathing, would go to the shrine and be lost in japam and meditation. There were times when the meditation lasted for 4 to 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Baba, could you believe it?
12 hours, 40 now.
In the early morning, 3 o'clock getting up, and they sat for meditation. and up to afternoon 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. So she would be waiting with our dinner because we are all meditating. So if necessary, he would be by sheer force drag us out of our meditation. Who cared then if the world existed or not? So that I told you. This is the Ramakrishna organization, founded on this ground of renunciation, ecstatic practice of austerities, meditation. There is no other purpose. World was not there with them. Whether they get a food, whether they get a shelter, whether a scorpion comes or whether a snake comes, it matters little. They are totally absorbed in God consciousness. That is the foundation of this holy order. And these 16 disciples, all of them have their great contribution into it. And Ramakrishna is the inspirer who inspired them in the path of, and that's why today we get the benefit. The whole world is getting the benefit of Ramakrishna's coming. If there is no Vivekananda, who would have preached him? If there is no Swami Maharaj, who is so how to love God, how to feel the presence of God in the shrine room. It is not only a ritual, but it is a direct presence. As I said, that the Madras story, that if you don't bring any food today, then I will offer the sand and then I will eat it, because it will be prasad. So if you are not managed, that means how earnest and how sincerely he loved Ramakrishna. Even he is not in the body. To us, he is not in the body. For him, it is a living presence. So this is Sushi Maharaj. I bow down the head at the Ramakrishnananda's feet. There is this, you can read this book. It's a very great book. They lived with God, and God lived with them. God lived with them is a book written by Swami Chetanananda. I should, you are reading all Brahma, Atman, all these are all also necessary in life to understand the philosophy. But read where this philosophy has been made practical. Only talking is one thing, but to manifest in life is another thing. God is there is one thing, but I feel God and God's presence and I serve Him, I nurture Him, that's a different thing. So this is the inspiration of our holy order, and we are really grateful. Because of them we are here. Even we are most insignificant people. Seeing their renunciation, reading these books, their inspirational thing, it ignited something in us. And then they kindly pulled us into this path of dedication and service. It is our benefit that we could live our life in this way. And it is only for the good of others, only for our own Atmanamoksha and Jagathita. The twin goal of the Ramakrishna movement is Atmanamokshartam, Jagathita is a twin goal. One, for my own liberation. I am doing anything not for you, but for my own liberation. It will help me to purify my mind. It will help me to purify by doing selfless work, selfless service. No? And Jagathita means I should not do any harm to anyone. Rather, anything I do is only for the good of the world. That contribution. Our thinking, our action, our thought, our behavior should be only to promote this harmony, this bliss. That is the purpose of Ramakrishna's coming. And you read these lives, it is very inspiring. 16 disciples' life will be here. They lived with God. And God lived with them, is this book he has named. And they lived with God. That's also very inspiration. Another book exactly like this. This is on the house. It is not, Ramakrishna didn't come for few monks only. Householder. They have their family, children, how they transported their life into the divine consciousness. No? That example is also, and how they built up their life, they call, they lived with God. That is the book. Yeah. So you can just, don't miss this opportunity. I would suggest read Ramakrishna. Ramakrishna, the life of Ramakrishna. You will be overwhelmed. It is in the history That's why Romarola said no, that 3,000 years spiritual sadhana is compact representation is Ramakrishna. All these practices which are going through the thousands of years of Indian spiritual traditions and the traditions of Christianity, Islam, which are, you can say, non-Vedic religion, all have been practiced by Sri Ramakrishna in one single lifetime. Never ever it happened in the history. And Aldous Huxley and others, you read their expressions about this, you'll be overwhelmed. So we should read Ramakrishna's life, read this Holy Mother's life, read Swami Vivekananda's life. You'll find great peace, great meaning and purpose of life. We are born not to die only, but we are born to fulfill a great mission in life, to understand our divine entity and to see the world in a different way. Thank you all. So, Jai Thakur. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Sri Ramakrishna Arpanam Astu. Please come to the center, meditate, take the benefit of this, create a spiritual atmosphere. What happens now? When you enter into the spiritual atmosphere, we come from so much of thinking and so many duties, responsibilities, bothering now, tense mind, anxiety full. When you come here, all goes away. So that is the place, the worship place. Not to talk about other things. When you come here, read some book, discuss about spiritual text, and can question, answer, and sadhus when they come, take best advantage of them. Prepare your questionnaires, ask them your questions. That is the best utilization of them. And they will also find joy in it.
Any questions?
Swamiji, if anybody wants a book, I can order books.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyone
Then you
wants
can
any
write
other
down
books?
whatever book you need.
Yeah.
Ramakrishna's life, Holy Mother's life, Swami
Okay.
Vivekananda life, this God lived with them, they lived with God, when householder lives, how they become totally God intoxicated, how the monastics live and they nurtured this whole Ramakrishna movement. So you can read all this, and if you need, then can write down your name, they can bring the
order
book.
that and with a good discount also.
Get a discount also.
Any questions? Anyone has
The
questions?
mailing cost is too much,
It's
isn't
okay.
it?
It's okay.
No,
No, if I get into a bulk, there's good order, then shipping is very little. According to one book, very little.
Because I ordered some and the